The album opens with an ominous swirling soundscape of voodoo-esque percussion, keyboard bassoons, and sirens.
You can tell there's big trouble ahead.
This uses a sample taken from the George Romero film, At Dawn of the Dead. We use this because it expressed a similar sense of foreboding about the world that we feel at this time too. There's a sense that people in some certain quarters are working on motorized instinct as unthinking automatons rather than with any genuine humanity, sensitivity or understanding of the consequences of their actions.
No, I thought we used it because I like the zombie films, yeah? There's this wicked bit, right, when the zombies tear off the biker's arm, yeah?
Yeah, well, whatever, you know. It's from some stupid zombie flick, and we thought it set the rest of the album up quite well. Next.
This is built up around a simple rhythm. Sonically, there's a nod to the early drum machine sounds that appeared on the second specials album.
Well, it's like a kind of dub meets like European cinema thing.
Yes, thematically, it's a continuation of the intro sensibility. Sometimes the climate we live in can make you feel like you are one of the few sentient beings left. That maybe the ability to have sensitivity to life can make you feel like the outsider.
A lone trooper.
The spirits of the moment can be quite isolating. The evidence that we are sometimes presented is that being conscious and cautious of your actions can be viewed as a weakness or hindrance, and not necessarily the most useful ability in this day and age.
Yeah, odd that, innit? Anyway...
It can make you feel like the last living souls on Earth, good or bad. Musically, the sense of introspection is reflected in the acoustic and piano refrains. It's a harmonious battle between digital and acoustic.
And if you listen really closely, there's some old geezer coughing in the background. Oh.
This is a more down-tempo track, like nighttime maneuvers, the equivalent of creeping up on the enemy.
Hey, and as a progression of the album's narrative, there is a sense of being forced into a position of having to arm your children. The arms are ambiguous, but there is a definite sense of conflict on the way. Desensitize yourself before you get taken advantage of. They're turning us into monsters is an expression of that transition of training people how to lose their compassion.
It's a jungle out there.
Yeah, sometimes it makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
What's the name of the girl who sings on this one? Lovely lady. Very... helpful.
Thank you. This track features a guest vocal from Nina Cherry. I loved her Raw Like Sushi Bigo album. She's always had a positive collaborative attitude towards music. 7 Seconds with Yusun Do is a superlative tune.
Yes, and towards the outro, there is a moment of subdued tension that then allows itself to explode into space, and then the track soars off into the distance.
A repetitive piano note stabs away like a slowed-down version of the Stooges. The restraint in the earlier section of the song is actually what gives it the power at the end.
And the key is maybe in the word pacify.
You know, if I have to die, I want to go in my sleep like my dad. Not screaming and like yelling like all his passengers.
This song is the sound of someone's train coming off its coasters, the march of the madman. We gave 2D's vocals a distorted megaphone effect as this fitted the soul of the track. It is to make the vocal section seem like a memory from the past.
Yeah, like some old vaudeville track.
Yeah, like some old vaudeville track.
Is there an echo in here?
And some of the spooky sounds on this track were caught on tape by accident. It is believed that they are the mysterious recordings of paranormal experiences going on at the Kong Studios. If you listen really carefully, you can hear a growling and whispering in the background. For this reason, this track was almost left off the album, but it was decided it should remain as the track came out so well.
And it's not like Gorillaz aren't used to dealing with runaway spirits.
Musically, there's a tip of the hat to Bernard Herrmann's atonal string score from the Hitchcock movie Psycho.
So, and the intention of the vocal line is a reminder to keep a little greenery in your heart, or you may forget what you are fighting for in the first place. And that really is the domain of the undead.
Yeah, this one ends ominously on the haunting sound of a bell ringing into the distance.
Ask not for whom the bell tolls.
Well, why not?
It tolls for thee.
Really?
Yes, really.
It sounds like my alarm clock.
Exactly.
This was one of the first tracks I worked on with DJ Danger Mouse. It evolved from a tape recording from an old Gorillaz jam. Danger Mouse added the kids' choir, the San Fernandez Youth Chorus. When they heard the track, they were really excited to sing along on it.
Kids, eh? Little treasures. I love them. Couldn't eat a whole one, though.
This track is a real upbeat, defiant, jubilant soul. Musically, it's got a real old-school break cut up in it. I play the kind of Clyde Stubblefield, Bernard Purdy rhythm. Those two were so massive in my drum palette, the foundations of hip-hop, you dig? I also try to add a little feel of Ziggaboom Release from the meters. And once I had the swing and the sound right, I then cut up the drums again to give it that extra sharp edge. That's when 2D added the clavinet keyboard rhythms.
Yeah, that was just something I heard on Sesame Street.
The rap on this verse is supplied by Booty Brown from the Far Side, who came in courtesy of a friendship with Danger Mouse.
Yes, and we talked with him about the general themes and atmospheres rather than anything specific. But he hit the nail on the head with this great rap. I feel that Booty's rap humanizes the position of the soldier, the fighter as an individual.
War will make soldiers of us all. The rap's got some killer lines. You can't conceal the hate that consumes you. I'm the reason you can fill up your Zuzu. Poetry, man.
With this track, there's a sense of infecting the young. As a civilization, we seem to be taking something of their innocence away with a lot of images of conflict that are constantly being displayed.
For a lot of kids, their earliest memories will be these dramatic images. That's like putting chemicals in the food chain. These kids are growing up out of a climate of conflict where intolerance has been encouraged and there's a sense of fighting for something you're being manipulated into backing. It can't be good in the long run.
No, can't be.
And this addition of the arabesque string section, I think, provides a balanced view musically.
Don't patronize your kids. They pick up on more than you realize. I think one of the core reasons why Gorillaz are successful is that we never patronize kids. Their understanding and intelligence is already in there, right from the beginning.
Russell, if you touch my leg one more time in this interview, I'm calling the cops, okay?
This track, Feel Good Inc., was chosen to be the first single from the album. We thought it would be an upbeat and dynamic return.
Part Billie Jean, part Rockwell. The beat on this is as infectious as influenza. We asked our friends De La Soul to lend a rap to the song, so they came over to the studio and hung out for the day. In the evening, they delivered this crazy, gooning, funk-filled rap.
Yeah, sounds like a bunch of kids trapped in a photo booth.
3 Foot High and Rising was such a milestone record in terms of giving a lot of people an entry point into hip-hop. A huge statement of intent. So colorful, so full of life and humor, and just real good energy. Their Daisy Age motif stood for the inner soul, y'all. So you know they're heading in the right direction.
They also have a playfulness when it comes to cutting and pasting different styles together.
It's rare in hip-hop to have a track like this that really works at this speed. A real up-tempo beat.
That reminds me, Pastor Noose still owes me £5. Yeah, I'll give him a call.
The windmill imagery line is a representation of a note of optimism, a memory of a simpler time, like maybe a snapshot of an older world. more innocent.
The production on Tootie's vocal passages reflects this sensibility again, like an image beaming at you from the past.
Reason that we remove the effect for the second appearance of this section in the song, so that this image becomes more direct, clear and present.
Then it drops straight back down into De La Soul's nitrous oxide-filled rap. Coupled with the heavyweight beat, this cut is unstoppable.
Yeah, heavy.
Shut up, man.
Wow.
This is a hefty track. Part Clash, part Madonna.
You know what? That's a rubbish description. It's got nothing to do with Madonna. It's got a vocal by my old mate Sean Ryder. Sean, eh? He's a scallywag, isn't he?
No, he's from Manchester. Scallywags are from Liverpool.
Yeah, all right, cheeky chops. But, you know, he's singing it like he's from Liverpool. I mean, the lyrics go, it's coming up, it's coming up, it's coming up, it's there. But he's going, it's there, you know, man, and all that, la. Hence why the title of the song got changed from It's There to Dare, as in, it's dare. And that's why he's a scallywag. Got it?
Yeah, it's all gravy, brother.
Oh, no, seriously? Don't start with all that rubbish. Jesus.
Sean Ryder was the singer of the Happy Mondays, a huge influence on so many people. As a lyricist, he was one of the only true voices and documenters of the late 80s, early 90s period. You can tell he's an original because he spawned so many imitators, not just musically, but in his lifestyle and the way he spoke, right down to his sense of humor and his taste in clothes.
Balls. When he came into the studio, he was like, oh, I say, what time's tea then? Do I have time to lay down some of my singing before we retire to the drawing room? Marvellous. Super. All that Manx street tour is just a big put-on for the cameras. Sean's really just a big posh kid.
I think emotionally where this song fits on the album is that despite all the lows, there are great highs. There's a sense of camaraderie on this track. It's tough.
This track went through many manifestations before finally settling itself in this form, a big shiny Gorillaz tune.
It's there!
This tale is about balance. You must be able to open your eyes without being poisoned by the evil you can see, and even innocence must prepare to fight when it's necessary. Apathy is a decision with consequences, and you must take action when necessary.
Without losing sight of what you're fighting for. The tale on this track is narrated by Mr. Dennis Hopper. Noodle ran into him at some award show, and it turns out he knew some Gorillaz tracks already. We told him what we were working on, and he took it from there. He came down to the studio for an afternoon and, you know, put his presence on the record.
Ah, Dennis Hopper. Oh, you know, Denny. Ugh, he had such a big effect on me.
Nowadays, he's become a symbol for that particular type of hedonistic, narcotic energy.
And he's got some killer bikes.
He's being a spokesman for free creativity and ignoring the rules at the risk of holding your own sanity to ransom. Therefore, a natural Gorillaz cohort.
Hopper's highway has always been to take the William Blake route of excess to reveal a palace of wisdom. I can relate to that.
But his journey was fueled by a desire to uncover the truth, or maybe something just more truthful, with more value. The backdrop to his classic Easy Rider film was an America in transition period after the ravages of the Vietnam War, and filmed in an age in which people were questioning the wisdom of their political system. He seemed like an astute choice to feature on this track.
Yeah, and he was great in Speed as well.
This little parable that Dennis narrates is a short story that Noodle wrote in the style of Hermann Hesse, a childlike fable of a people too good-hearted to see the steady influx of other people with a darker agenda.
Yes, both groups depicted are extreme portraits of the people they are meant to represent, but this is to show how the two sides, ignorant to the position of the other, will clash. This resulted in a devastating loss for all, in which no one won.
I sold Dennis my old Winnebago while he was down at Kong, you know, so I sort of said I'd knock a bit off the price if he gave us the vocal.
This is a little slice of West Coast sun-soaked harmony. The part this plays is as a transition into a more optimistic exit for the album, like coming up for air.
For the orchestrated harmony, we drafted in the London Community Gospel Choir. This works as a prelude or link to the next track. The message is, don't get lost in the fog. Again, it's saying, beware what you can lose by losing sight of the goal.
Or maybe, don't let the negative events cloud over the bigger picture.
Or you can lead a horse to water, but you can never get it to pay your phone bill. Christ, come on, get on with it. I've got a plane to catch.
As with the previous track, the vocal harmonies were provided by the London Community Gospel Choir.
You remember when you were a little kid and you would look at the clouds in the sky as the sunlight bounced off them? And something that simple would make you feel a part of everything and all alone at the same time. And that feeling's not something you can ever put into words. So you spend your whole life chasing it. Making music, taking pictures, painting, whatever. In the hope that other people will understand that sense or feeling. As creative entities, we look for signs of life outside ourselves. For a connection to alleviate the sense of solitude. That's why we all do what we do, whether we know it of ourselves or not.
Nope. Still not getting you, mate. It is, and will always be, for the birds after the show. Anyone who says any different is just spinning you a yarn.
Oh, okay, maybe you're right then.
The track's a positive reassurance. Today's a new day. We still have everything to gain, and a universe to fight for. This is the album's exit, the flip side to the intro. It's a very uplifting and optimistic finale to the album, as the beginning presents the listener with the sensation of being alone, isolated, and the end feels more like a universal connection.
Really? Do go on.
Just be aware to keep your senses alive. Don't desensitize yourself to life just because it's a struggle and can be painful. Because if you avoid it, you'll lose more than you'll ever know.
Yeah, I see.
All we really have in life is the ability to feel and understand. If you remove that part of yourself in order to fight, then you have lost the battle at the start.
To be an unconscientious objector is of no real value.
Sorry, did you pick that up?